Do you ever find yourself on edge all the time and complaining about the most meaningless little things for no reason? If that sounds like you, let's talk about this for a few minutes. I've met an unfortunate number of people who seem to look at all the problems and all the things that we have going on in our lives as some sort of competition on who is the most miserable. And that would blow my mind, and I would always look down on those people because I just can't understand why someone would look at life that way. But lately I've been doing some self-reflecting on how I perceive regular situations, and I'm realizing how often I tend to complain about things that just aren't important. Life has really tested me in the past year, and I know it has for a lot of us in different ways. And maybe it's those bigger life-changing moments that kick us into a negative headspace and make us not appreciate things and perceive everything as something problematic. And when so much of our day-to-day life experience is based on how we are mentally approaching situations and reacting to them, we can't let ourselves get stuck into a rut of negativity. Now, I try to be sensitive to my feelings and let myself be upset and be angry when something actually warrants it. Usually I try to be optimistic towards everything, but when real shit happens to you, and it does to all of us, forcing positivity isn't always the best option if that means you're going to be bottling up your true feelings. So let yourself feel. Let yourself be angry and sad and cry when the moment is happening. And in enough time after you've felt what you needed to feel, then you can flip on that positive switch and take something from that experience to move forward in a better way. So yes, we can complain and we can feel things, but we have to recognize what's actually worth complaining about. Because if we don't, then we're going to start to let everything affect us and bother us. But if we are in that headspace, then how do we get ourselves to stop complaining about everything? To start, try to be aware of your reactions to everything that happens to you. Try to recognize in the moment that your complaining is happening and stop and think, is this really worth getting worked up over and upset about? Because most of the time it's probably not. And if you find that a lot of your complaints and anger are directed towards other people that you care about and who care about you, you start to recognize how your woe is me mindset is not only crippling you, but can also affect people around you. If we can catch ourselves in these moments, we can apologize to that person, and we'll be more aware the next time and think before we immediately just start reacting negatively. Again, there are things that we can be legitimately upset about. But most of the time, things just aren't worth our energy and our effort, and we should look at them in a better way. The best way to stop complaining about the bad things in your life and what you don't have is to gain an appreciation for the good things in your life and what you do have. What are things that make us happy? We all have things to be grateful for, even if they're just little moments of joy throughout the day. It can be as simple as the foods we eat, our pets, our couch that we get to curl up on and watch our favorite show, the people around us that we love. Often we take them for granted because we're just so used to having them there, and we fight with them and argue with them, and we don't appreciate their presence in that moment. But that moment isn't going to last forever, and people won't be around forever. You know, so often people tell stories about how they wish they had appreciated things or people more when they had them. And I think that's true for a lot of things, for relationships, jobs, hobbies, freedom, responsibilities that you either have or don't have. Why do we only look back on these things wishing we could do them again and not acknowledge how awesome they are in the moment that they're happening? I love the quote from Andy in the finale of The Office, where he says something along the lines of, "I wish there was a way of knowing that you were in the good old days before you've actually left them." I think the fact that this quote is so relatable for a lot of people shows how common that this is in our human consciousness. We delay gratification and don't let ourselves experience happiness in the moment because we're always wanting more or feeling like what we have isn't enough or that we aren't enough. It doesn't have to be that way. You know, not all of us are going to end up rich or achieve all of our dreams or get everything that we want to have. And on a more simple level, not all of us have perfect health. Not all of us have family and friends and a warm house with food on the table every day. So let's make a conscious effort to appreciate what we do have and enjoy the good old days when we are actually in them rather than just as a memory. Spending time outside has been a lot harder to come by during this whole pandemic. But now as we move into spring here in the US and the sun is out a little later every day, I find that putting ourselves out in nature is a great way of realizing how the simple everyday things like sunshine can bring us so much joy. The more mundane and routine things are so often the most meaningful. Why is it that it feels so good when it's sunny out? The sun rises every day, but it still always makes us feel good. The birds are always flying gracefully and chirping every day, but that's still always beautiful. Your cat is adorable and cuddly and cute every single day, but that still always makes you smile. It's those small everyday moments that let us realize that we always have things to be grateful for. Our journey to finding purpose and filling our heart with happiness is made of these day-to-day things and being consistently excited to wake up and to live every day. Every day is special in its own way, even if it's not National Pancake Day every day. Every day that we get to wake up and be in good health and have enough to live comfortably, and let's be honest, a lot of us have way more than we actually need to survive. And every day is an opportunity to appreciate all these things. I used to have this note on my desk that I wrote for myself when I was a teenager, and it said, "Complaining gets you nowhere." Now, we don't know what happened to it. Maybe I felt like I fully embodied it enough to get rid of it, or it was just a casualty of my aggressive decluttering, but it's still true. No one wants to be around a complainer. No one wants to help out a complainer. You're not going to land your dream job by complaining. You're not going to find your soulmate by complaining. And maybe most importantly, you're not going to find your purpose in life if all you do is spend time complaining about the life that you have. Our life doesn't really change in one day or one big moment. And as I said before, it's our mental approach to what we have and what we do that's responsible for our experience here on this earth. It doesn't matter how much we have or how much we don't have. We all have the opportunity to look at our life in a more positive light. And it starts with acknowledging that what we want out of life isn't just gonna fall from the sky and enlighten us and change our mentality. We are the only ones who can change our mentality and change our lives for the better. It's not easy, and I have relapses all the time, and I'm still trying to figure out what my meaning and purpose is here. But one thing I've really been trying to improve at lately is to just be grateful for every person that I love, for everything I own that brings me joy, for that rush of adrenaline that I get when I exercise, for that feeling of a nice breeze with the sun beaming down on me. To be able to live in a time and place that I have the freedom to do whatever I want, it's truly blissful when you think about it. And even if I don't have my life all together right now, I know that I'll find joy in things every day because I choose to be grateful. I'll end this video with a phrase that I'm sure you've heard before, but it's so true. We can't always control what happens to us, but we can control how we react to it. So thank you for watching. Take care of yourself, take care of your mental health, and know that you always have the opportunity to get better. See you next week.